G'day everyone, or you mob, as you like, if you will. Oh yeah, I've still got that playing, don't I? Let us... Whoops. I don't know if that worked. I'll just close it. Hi, how's it going? Welcome aboard. How is everyone? Good to see you all about and here and stuff. Crikey. Look at all this chat. Joel G. Back to prime form. First cab off the rank. Cheers to you, Joel G. Joel G sent me a lovely photo just before of a very pretty lady. But she had a moustache and a beard. It was very interesting. Hello, Langan and Animals, if you're still around. Tampa Tom, Joe Munoz. How are yous? Amy, Sand Creek 2. GRB, g'day, mate. Zen Ginger, hello there. Derek, 44 Mag Guy. How are you, Derek? Good to see you. The other Tiffany. Lurk away and listen, other Tiffany. John Cox. How are you, John Cox? Multitasking. Well done. Punchy. How are you, Pam? Good to see you. Peplin. How are you, Pep? Thanks for coming by. JH Aquatics. Joseph, how are you? For some reason, I just went blank on Joseph's first name. So many J names around the joint. Jessica Taylor, how are you? Who else have I missed? Aquamate. My start time, Joshua, has been 5 past 12 for a little while now, just to break that tradition of starting something on the hour. Mm-hmm. I think it's more fun when you destroy traditions. break them, ruin them. Dan Slee, how are you, Dan? Galar, g'day, mate. Bob Kaler, thanks, Bob. Smash that like. C23, how are you, Clarence? Joshua Michael in the chat. Look out for that guy. He's a loose cannon. I've got a little bit of black underneath the grain, but you know, I'm testing out how to blend camo and a green flanny. I've been told it works. No, I haven't really. But yes, I did have a black shirt on, and it is quite chilly today, so I went for an extra layer, and this is one of my super vintage flannies. I thought I'd pull my vintage flanny out of storage, get some use out of it before the winter's over. But this flanny's about 25 years old. Classic vintage design. Gotta love it. Hey, Maria Z, how are you? Lurk away, lurk away. Who else have I missed? Streety, how are you, Streetwise? Cheers to you. Fingers crossed I haven't missed anyone. Chat has jumped and stuff. That's Flanny Jess. Some people even call them flannos, but I prefer to go with flanny. Sandy Doty, how are you, Sandy? I like the way you're thinking, GRB. Pretty much any flanny goes with anything, I think. Pop the collar. Which one? I've got two collars on. Don't want to look like a preppy dude, but you know, I'm like a performing monkey. I just do what I'm told. No, I can't do popped collars. I think that's down here. It's called the Esche look. I think it's preppy potentially in the States. Not 100% sure what else it might be called. Fish Freak. How are you, brother? Long time no type. Hope you've been well. And yeah, bro, you've definitely been missed. And yeah, I suppose without further ado, might bring number one panelist back onto the screen somehow. That way. Oh, and there he is. He appears out of plumes of smoke.
Hello, everyone.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's good. Izod Lacoste wearing preppy. Yeah, that sounds about right, GRB. Seems appropriate. Might just... if I do that, though... Hey, Priscilla. Yeah, there's not much I can do with it. It's out of control. It's funny, though, I ran into this lady in the supermarket yesterday who I hadn't seen for probably 6 months or something, and she said, "Oh, I like your haircut." And it's like, I haven't had a haircut for months.
I'm due to.
Oh yeah, yours is out of control. You can see the chat all right there, Beast.
Yeah, I got a second phone with a chat on it.
All right. A few of the folks saying hi to you.
Yep. How is everyone?
And yes, as the screen does not hide, Scunge Princess will be joining us soon. But she is in the midst of doing a bajillion things, so I'm not sure when she'll pop in and when we'll see her. I wonder if I do that. Ah, yes, cool. She still stays back there, so I'll see her. And yes, standard first questions for Beast, as usual, is what's the drink of choice today?
Cheap beer.
Cheap beer.
Hollandia from Holland.
Oddly enough.
Yeah.
The original Deutschland, wasn't it?
Don't know. Deutschland is Germany.
Yeah, but didn't because we call the language that the Hollandaise people talk Dutch. Didn't they have Dutch before the Germans took it? It probably just means words or something.
Yeah, it does. It just means language or place. And I think a lot of Americans who call themselves like the Pennsylvanian Dutch, they're not actually from Holland. Some of them are from Germany, but they just went, look, we're not going to bother trying to explain this. We're the Pennsylvanian Dutch. We're just Deutsch. We'll just say we're Dutch and get over the whole warfare.
Yeah,
situation.
It's probably sensible.
Yeah.
New England Endler, hello, how are you? And who else did I just see pop in? Tater salad, or informally known potato salad. Now, tell me, Beast, when you make a potato salad, do you put hard-boiled eggs in it? We're diving into the deep stuff straight up.
Oh, I've actually never made one. But, yeah, I probably would. I'd put bacon and eggs in there for sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And I suppose tater salad yourself is a hard-boiled egg an ingredient in you, or the tater salads that you make? I'm assuming you've got a affinity with potato salad with a name like that. And, you know, all comers, everyone who wants to chuck in their favourite secret ingredients in potato salad.
Roger's excretions.
It's what?
It's an American Dad reference. Roger did his old squirt in the potato salad, and everyone loved it. Alien excretions, yeah. I just got to get another esky brick because my esky is fucking warming up, so I need some cold. I'll be back in a sec.
Roger that. Metal Hammer Jimmy. Because I was reading today. How are you, Jimmy? Good to see you, mate. Complete 5 food groups. Oh, food groups. Yeah, those 5 food groups are a bit of a tippling point nowadays, isn't it? Why can't you do both, Jessica Taylor? Why can't you put a mustard and mayo mix into your potato salad? A nice Dijonnaise mustard mixed with some mayonnaise. Hang on, isn't Dijonnaise mustard mixed with mayonnaise anyway? Oh no, Zen's all over it. Yeah, a nice Dijon mustard, whole egg mayo. Got to get all of those versions of egg in your potato salad, I think. Yeah, a little bit of round eye curry powder is good. Yes, very true. Yeah, Cichlids 23. I like your 5 food groups. They certainly fit with my food regime. However, I don't necessarily agree with Streetwise bit of celery crunch. I'm not a fan of the celery, but if you do cut your bits small enough, then yeah, they blend in quite nicely. Jesse, HC Aqua has made it. Missed your birthday the other day, Jesse. Sorry about that. Happy birthday for the 20th. Oh, hang on. That's probably yesterday to you guys. Fruit here and there. Yeah, you don't want to overdo the fruit. Cichlids 23, too much sugar in it. The fruit will send you sideways if you eat too much of it. Especially if you do fruit juices. It's even worse, isn't it?
Delicious.
Herb de Provence. I know what dillweed is, but I don't know what herb de Provence is.
I'll look that one up.
Provence. Maybe it's continental parsley. Oh yeah, I do like a good pasta salad, Streetwise. A bit high in the carbs, but sometimes a good creamy sweet pasta salad goes a treat. Crikey, what can of worms have I opened up here? Mango, onion, and vinegar salad. Crikey.
Major herbs, rosemary, thyme, and oregano. It's a mix.
Ah, right.
French mix.
So that's pretty much what we'd call mixed herbs down here.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty much your main ingredients in our basic mixed herb that you buy already put in a jar. But I do like the herb de Provence. Sounds so much fancier than mixed herbs.
Mixed herbs, mate.
But you know, any port in a storm, any name in a tempest. Yeah, what else goes in a mango, onion, and vinegar salad? Sounds like an interesting mix.
You can make a mango salsa pretty good. That goes off with chicken tacos. Fish tacos. What am I saying?
I'm sure it goes pretty good with chicken as well.
Yeah.
Mango chicken's pretty tasty, and I'm not a mango fan. I actually quite detest mangoes, but sometimes when you've just got a subtle hint of mango flavour, it is good, and I can deal with it. But for the most part, mango, gross.
Yeah, I don't like ripe mangoes. I like green ones.
Yeah, right. I think they all stink and taste too sickly sweet.
Okay.
How are things down under? Tater Salad wants to know. Well, it's a bit chilly. I think today and yesterday have been our coldest days so far. Do you reckon?
Yep, I agree. Last night was cold as.
It's very nice though. I love a cold night. I still sleep just with the screen door closed and the window open. It makes it so much more snuggly in blankets.
Yeah.
Can
I do that, but the missus wouldn't let me.
Yeah, right. My folks are like that too. They both sleep at very different temperatures. They need their own rooms.
Oh shit.
But yeah, sleeping with the door and the window open does make that first run to the bathroom in the morning a little bit of a chilly escapade.
Mm.
G'day, Aqua Balls. How are you? Oh, JH, you want a cooking show on your YouTube channel? Maybe what you need to do is you do the cooking and Amber just tells you what to do. That would create a nice amount of tension. Her bossing you around and you freaking out at getting ordered around. I reckon that'd be great viewing. But if it's just Amber cooking, nah, she seems like she knows what she's doing in a kitchen.
I'm getting a beer delivery today.
A beer delivery?
Yeah, from the brewery. They offered free shipping. I was like, I'm all over that. And the price is really good.
Which one? Which brewery?
Green Beacon up in Brisbane. It's a passion fruit sour beer loaded full of passion fruits. Delicious stuff.
Fair enough. I'm not such a huge fan of a fruity beer, but potentially I haven't tried the right ones yet.
Mm.
Whoops. No, all good. But yeah, make it happen, Joseph. I was about to call him Joel. All these J names. I think I already did that all these J names bit, didn't I? And Jailers Aquatics. The Jen Ginger. 44 Jag guy. Jicklids 23.
Jicklids.
They all work. Streetwise, Jaria Z, Jessica Taylor. I don't even have to mess with Jessica. Oh, Jessica Jailer. Done. Jettelhammer Jimmy. Anyway, I think that J-Gag has run its course. Done. It's over. Till next week. Yeah, what you've got to do, Joseph. Here's my pitch. You set a time limit and have one of those big digital clocks counting down the time. So it's like, you know, those reality TV cooking shows where the time is limited. So the pressure's on in the last couple of minutes and you both start to snap and lose your shit. And yeah. People, you know, loving couples losing their nanas at one another, that's always great viewing, I think. Surely mountain oysters don't need salad to go with them, do they? Don't you just eat them straight?
Aren't they balls? Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they're from deer or elk or just Rocky Mountain cattle or bison, maybe bison balls. You did your job. That's why I sound like after about 11 turkey sodas, Streety. Sounds about like how I talk. Lol. Potentially you should. Beats editing. It's pig's balls, is it? Is the mountain oysters.
Nah, not for me.
What, not even one crack? Oh, maybe John Cox was calling me a pig because Pam says calf balls is the Rocky Mountain oysters.
Okay.
Surely if someone put a couple on a plate in front of you, you'd have a go.
No.
Wouldn't even have a go?
No, wouldn't do it. I ordered sweetbread at a fancy restaurant once, and being a young 20-year-old, I thought, oh, this is going to be served on brioche. Sweet. I like sweetbread. And out came the glands, and I went, excuse me, I thought on the menu it said sweetbread. And the servers just didn't understand what they were letting people order. And so I sent them back, and the head chef came back out with all the wait staff and said, right, you've all got to eat these in front of this guy. And that way you know what sweetbread are, because you should have been educated. And they got an education. I'm nearly gagging at the table. I was like, well, mate, yeah, I don't want to eat that shit. Fancy fucking names. Sweetbread.
Did they did the wait staff actually eat them?
They did. They were forced to keep their jobs.
Oh, right. But did they like have to eat a whole one, or was a bite of one enough?
They were quite small.
Right.
There was at least 4 on the plate, and there was 4 staff, so they all ate one each. Yep.
Well, that's good. It's good to be the catalyst for change.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with Ginger. I don't even do oysters.
Yeah, I don't do oysters.
Yeah.
And it's primarily for that it's a textural thing.
Yeah.
And that's probably where I would struggle with your sweetbreads or your Rocky Mountain oysters. Is I'd have to potentially bite pieces off so that you get exposed to the internal texture instead of just that squidgy, rubbery outside texture that I'm assuming a testicle would have. So it didn't take us long to go from potato salad to balls. and I barely even noticed the segue. It's like it was such a smooth segue. And we were there. But, all food related with a little bit of drink related action. Well done, everybody. What's the next topic? Clearly, food is something that everyone gets into, so it's quite easy to yammer on about food, I guess.
I found the naughtiest food I've ever found before in the supermarket the other day. It was
naughtiest food, did you say?
Yeah, bad for your food. Like, it's there's these biscuits that I sometimes get at motels that I stay at called Lotus, and like caramelized biscuits. And they're really tasty. They're from Belgium. They're quite small. But I found a jar of Lotus biscuit crunchy spread.
Oh, yeah.
Spreadable biscuits on your muffin. Man, I had that for breakfast. I was like, fucking, yeah, sugar. Ah.
I think it might have been when Sarah and I were in the local supermarket that we won't mention its name, Woolworths. And I think she pointed that stuff out, the pulverized biscuit spread, and we were both very, very, very intrigued by a spread made out of crushed up biscuits.
Fucking tastes amazing.
Does it?
Oh, yeah. Fucking amazing flavor. Oh, you just done the pineapple thing. Well, pineapple on a pizza, I say yay.
I agree.
Yeah. But also believe in inhaling the pineapple. This is pineapple sour candy. Fucking delicious.
Yeah, I think I don't know why it's such a a bone of contention with people. Pineapple on a pizza. Why people get so, spiritually invested in defending one way or the other. But it is certainly like Zen Ginger says, be prepared to lose friends with this one, because people do for some reason take pineapple on pizza as one of those big world issues. I mean, it's right up there with face masks, isn't it?
My Italian neighbours would get quite upset about pineapple on a pizza, I'm sure.
Yeah, but they probably just want garlic and onion and tomato sauce, don't they? If they're doing it traditional, a bit of parmesan and mozzarella, maybe.
Yeah.
I think anything apart from a margarita pizza gets frowned on by traditional pizza makers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Pineapple, but not with super greasy meats.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Greasy
I think
bacon, streaky bacon with pineapple is awesome.
Yeah, 2 excellent toppers on a burger with a lot very greasy, oily bacon, the acid and the sugar of the pineapple mixing with those greases.
Yeah, it cuts it good.
It's a gastronomical must. Yeah, no, we don't want to go to talking about decaf coffee, Pam. What's the point? And Bob's intentional insectivore recipes. That's like where you actually cook the pot of cockroaches instead of letting cockroaches wander into your pot of stew. I guess that's what he's talking about.
Why do they call them mealworms if humans haven't had them as meals?
Indeed. Have you ever eaten one? They're very nutty and meaty. They're quite palatable. They're not exactly disgusting to eat.
Haven't gone there, man. Never been that inclined. Accidental.
I used to breed a lot of them. Had this little setup of 3 or 4 drawers with different stages of growth in them. That was good fun. Stunk though. It was very smelly.
Right.
But yeah, when you've got that many mealworms on your hands, you tend to try them once or twice, and they're not too bad at all. They're just like a small witchetty grub, basically.
They're not crunchy?
No, I mean, there's certainly a shelly element to it, but because it's such a fine shell, you don't really notice it.
Okay.
Shite. Whoops. That nearly went pear-shaped. I've got my microphones on my left. Haven't had my microphone on my left for a long time. It's normally over here on my right. So yeah, I just went for a blind drink and nearly knocked it off the table.
Be wary.
Right, what have I missed here? You might have to keep trying, Derek, until you find a sweet enough pineapple. You get lots of fresh pineapple down here in Australia that's sweet as. Or, if you really want to make your pineapple sweet, just saute it in some brown sugar and olive oil before you put it on your pizza. Caramelize it up a bit, then those sugars will release for you when the pizza's in the oven.
Have you ever had the churrasqueira, the Brazilian barbecue?
No.
Fucking meat on a stick, cooked on open coals, delicious. But they'll come around with a stick of pineapples that have been barbecued with a bit of cinnamon on it. Fucking delicious. Cut off slices. Really goes well with the meat.
Where's the nearest place we can do that to us?
The last place I went to it was up in Cairns. So, yeah,
right.
fuck all.
Few and far between.
Mm-hmm. But if you see it, fucking go it. Well worth it. All you can eat. And they just bring the sticks of meat to your table and cut it off for you right there and then. Delicious.
It does sound a little bit familiar. Like maybe at some point in my life I may have gone to a similar style concept restaurant, but I'm not sure it was Brazilian based. But maybe they just stole the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I seem to remember maybe down in Sydney, some restaurant where they basically cart sticks of cooked food around that you just take what you want off it and stuff.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm sure Sydney has one.
Oh yeah, people talking masks and the other thing. What do you call them? Face shields.
Yeah.
I did see this morning. I mean, I didn't watch it, but I saw that the New South Wales health minister was doing a live broadcast on the Facebooks. Potentially, you know, it might have been worthwhile watching, but I'm sure after it's all over, they'll, you know, the appropriate news broadcasters will do the highlights and the slow-mos for us. Don't have to sit through 2 hours of live stream just to find out 3 simple points. Maria Z agrees with your Brazilian barbecue. Now we're going to have to find one so we can go and do it. Although I guess a situation like that would be quite difficult to achieve nowadays, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All these people sharing off the same food.
Yeah.
Green olives or black olives?
Black olives.
I don't mind either. I'll have both. Oh, unless if we're talking on pizza, then yeah, black olives. I think you get more of that intense flavor.
But with grapes, green grapes, all the way.
Well, I mean, we've got a black grapevine out in the garden, and they're quite bitter and tart, but very tasty. I very, very much enjoy the black grapes that we grow, apart from the fact that about approximately 47% of the body weight of each individual grape is seed.
Right.
They're very, very heavy with seed as a small grape. Which makes you wonder, really, why have grapes evolved to have, 10 or a dozen seeds inside such a small piece when bigger fruits only have one seed? I've always wondered about that with grape seeds.
Yeah, well, there is an answer, but let's not go from food to excrement. But that's probably why.
No, let's go to excrement. So you're saying that the theory is that you get more seed spread around by animals pooing seeds out at different times, perhaps?
Yep. Fertilized seeds, activated seeds. A lot of seeds need to go through a gut to get activated and cleaned up. And then the droppings just add a bit of nutrients for them to get going. That's why around here, up in the mountains and stuff, there's guavas everywhere, because the bats and the birds will eat guava, and possums too. And then drop them away wherever they are, and we got guavas everywhere.
Interesting. And yeah, John Cox says that grape seeds must pass through a bird.
There you go. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's because something in their stomach acid breaks down the aril of the seed or something, the outside of the seed. Oh, and GRB brings up a very interesting point. I'm not sure. I know for sure that I went to a Mongolian barbecue restaurant in Sydney when I was living down there. I'm not sure if it was called Genghis Khan, but I definitely went there. And you basically, it's not like the Brazil one where they carry the food around on sticks and whatnot. They basically have all of their meats and vegetables and stuff laid out like buffet style, but raw. And then you wander around with a large bowl and you collect all the ingredients you want. And then you take it to this window where there's a big traditional Mongolian barbecue, which the traditional ones were actually their battle shields inverted into a big wok sort of thing. So you go and take your stuff up to this window and give it to the cook guy, and he chucks it in his shield and cooks it up for you, and you go and eat, and then you can go back again and do it all again. But yeah, buffets may be a thing of the past, eh?
Yeah.
Everyone will be too scared to touch anything that anyone else has touched even. Acid etches the outer hull, but gut track short enough, not right. Yeah, GRB, that was, I think I might have had 3 platefuls the time I went there. I'm talking, crikey, what would that have been? Late 90s, 97 maybe, so over 20 years ago. But those sort of places, you know, they tend to exist forever. But yeah, I think they might be a thing of the past unless they change their system a wee bit. Are you talking about the meat, John Cox, to eat the meat? Or just in general that donkeys and horses are okay animals? Because yeah, it is. I do find it quite surprising that you know, we're so willing to eat cows, but horses have, you know, there seems to be potentially that's what Peplin's referring to by saying taboo. There certainly seems to be a big taboo with eating horse meat, and it's probably because they're, you know, we get so personal with our horses, training them and using them to work and stuff, that they become our friends. So it's probably a similar thing with why people don't like to eat dogs. Yeah. Hello, Jacopo.
Hey, Jacopo.
Welcome aboard. I remember Jacopo from 2 weeks ago, I believe, was the first one he popped in on, wasn't it?
Yep. We were just talking about pineapple on pizzas, Yako.
And yeah, with you there, Joel G. Goat is an awesome meat. I love it. I would like to have some goats out in the back paddock if I could get permission to do that. But, you know, they are hard to, without a, you know, 8-foot chain link fence, they're very difficult to keep restrained. But yes, very tasty, oily meat. Good for you. Nice and gamey. A bit tastier than lamb, even though I love lamb as well.
Jerk goat. Very popular in the Caribbean.
What is?
Jerked goat.
Yeah, I think the first time I ate goat was probably about 10 or 15 years ago, and there was a African dude. Actually, where was he from? He was from Tanzania, and he got me onto goat because he used to go. This is in Brisbane when I was running a warehouse in Brisbane. You could go up to this. I mean, I'm sure there's more than one, but he used to go up to this property on the Sunshine Coast, and they had feral goats on the property, and you could just go there and you'd pay them a small fee to go and, hunt a goat, slaughter a goat and butcher it and have lots and lots of meat. And yeah, he bought some goat curry into work one day, and then some big slab of roasted goat or something. Delicious, mate. Love it. But yeah, it's hard to beat a nice big, lamb 4/4 chop, nice and salty and greasy, fried up in the pan. Leave it a little bit rare. Probably not as rare as beef, but it still works. Yeah, they're definitely GRB.
We've been getting into the venison lately. It's nice and cheap from the butcher near the laundromat. Nice
really?
Frozen chunk of it. Fucking delicious. Treat it well, slow cook it. Fucking awesome. Twice cooked.
Yeah, I like I've experienced venison a few times and I've always enjoyed it. And it's hard not to want elk based on how often Joe Rogan bigs it up and talks about it.
Yeah, he's definitely on the good stuff.
They're not allowed to. I'll get a aquafunkia. I'd probably try some giraffe. Might be a little bit tough, but worth a try.
Oh, poor giraffe.
Joe Rogan's talking about all of his elk, and apparently in the States, you can't just go and hunt elk in the wild and then sell it to restaurants and stuff. Okay. So there's apparently all of the elk that you get in restaurants and whatnot in the US is bred in New Zealand.
Right.
And sent over to the States. And that's just that's a really interesting situation if you ask me.
Big carbon footprint.
Yeah. Why? I wonder why they can't just, have a scheme over there where they're hunting it and getting it USDA approved. Is that them? USDA is responsible for meat quality and all of that stuff, isn't it?
I'm not sure. FDA? Food?
No, well, the FDA is the Food and Drug Administration, but I think the USDA is responsible for meat.
Right.
But yeah, Peplum, that's the way people have got to do it. You've got to know someone over there who hunts elk, and get it direct from people instead of from your shops and whatnot. Because you get elk from a shop in the States, you're getting animal that's been brought over from New Zealand, so I'm led to believe.
There's a big difference between farmed and wild too. Wild foraged meat is way tastier.
Or even the wild venison over there. Apparently, there's lots of reserves and stuff where they have feeding stations out for them, where they put very high protein diet out for the deer and whatnot to eat. So there's kind of this small element of similar to farming going on with them as well.
Yeah, cool.
G'day, Chris John. How are you? Another double namer. 2 first names, Chris John. I've heard bear's pretty good too, as long as you get black bear. Apparently in the berry season is when the best time to eat black bear, because they're eating so much sweet berries and whatnot that it changes the flavor of their meat. So you could eat bear at different times of the year and get completely different flavored meat. Oh, my fest days are dancing. They'll be laying eggs tonight, I reckon.
Nice.
Streetwise says, I really like empanadas. What are the best Aussie versions of meat pies? Is that what an empanada is?
Yeah, an empanada is like a giant curry puff, but way more delicious. Yeah, like a pasty in a way.
What are the best Aussie versions of meat pies? There's so many good versions.
Yeah, there's a guy in Nelson Bay that's got a shop called Red Ned's. And he's got about 50 pie varieties. You go in there and get a crocodile pie or a kangaroo pie or all kinds of, scallops, all kinds of different varieties. And he makes like Australia's best pies, I reckon. Always a pleasure to stop by there and grab a wild pie.
Well, the only time I've eaten crocodile was actually at a pie shop in Lismore, believe it or not. And they were similar. They had crocodile pies and emu pies and kangaroo pies.
Yep.
But I'm not 100% sure if that pie shop's still going.
Right. Crocodile's weird, a wild caught one that's been feeding on fish is really seafood like. It's really delicious, but a farm crocodile that gets fed chicken all the time is just it's not as nice.
Yeah, I think that's what I had, because I don't think I could have picked the difference between that and a chicken pie, apart from a slight variation in the texture of the meat.
Yep.
Yadala pies, they're still going, GRB. The old Yadala pie shop, still up there on the freeway. But speaking of crocodiles, I'm going to go and wrestle one. Go
for it, man. You want an 18-point buck, no problem. Just fork out 25 grand. What? Fucking hell. That's fucking intense. 25 grand for a big buck. I got some friends who like to do bow hunting and they stalk their own deer, and I got a bit of antler from them and worked it into a ring. And I thought, oh, beauty, I can use antler to make rings. And got on the internet, found some cheap antler that was sold for dog chews, and got it home, cut it, and tried to work it into a ring. And I think in a shell it's called an acre, but the outer edge that's tough and workable was like so thin on the farm deer compared to the thickness of the wild deer. And I wondered if it had anything to do with diet. I had no clue. So any markets on locally? I'm pretty sure the farmers market's still going here in Mullumbimby on a Friday morning. Our area is pretty chill. No one seems to give a shit about masks and stuff like that. Everyone's, it's the women who don't keep their distance. I've had so many random hugs in public from women that I know. They just break all the social distancing and go in for the hug, and there's nothing you can do about it. Mule deer down there. Mule deer, is that like a cross between Russo and whitetail or spotted deer? They could be, but I've never heard of them before.
Mule deer, that's one of the bigger ones, isn't it? What did you speculate? A cross? Is it a cross?
Usually a mule is an unfertile crossbreed of two different species. They can mate, but them as a mule, they're not. You can't produce offspring from the mule.
And when I was walking away before, you were reading that comment about a 18-point buck.
Yeah.
Does the points refer to how many tines they've got on their antlers. Yeah,
Probably. Yeah.
that's the only thing I could assume. Not like a 7-point goldfish. Mule deer is a species that has long ears like a mule, so it's
Oh, okay. Cool.
its
I didn't
own
know that.
kind. Right.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see actually what our ones are, because we've got feral deers in Australia, or feral deer, sorry. But yeah, I wonder what our breeds are that we've got. Apparently out around Casino, there's a lot of it going on. And they've been, I remember, long time ago when my sister was at university out at Armidale, and there was plenty of deer out there. And I think they're just slowly heading east and spreading, and they've made it to Casino and out sort of the west of Lismore. So, hopefully we start to see some around here soon, so we can shoot them and eat them. Now, remember the other week when you showed us your sculpture of the little elephant dude?
Yeah.
And I was saying I had a McFarlane figurine that your dude reminded me of. I found him.
Fuck yeah.
Hang on, I'll go big screen so you can see it proper.
Oh man. Where's his ears gone? They get chewed off or something.
Hang on. Get rid of it. Whoops.
Has he got like holes in his head for the ears?
Yeah, well he's got, can see that there's a little bit of skin left where he's got a big earring through it.
Yeah, right. Bizarre.
But,
he's cool.
Yeah. Apart from that, there doesn't seem to be any evidence of ears.
Yeah, right. He's looking almost octopus-ish in a way. Look at those muscles. He's jacked.
He's jacked. He's swole.
He's swole. Yeah, he's got a good big belly on him. That's a nice weapon.
Yeah, he's got a he carries like a rifle in his left hand, but I couldn't find it.
Okay.
But yeah,
Maybe I saw that when I was younger and it stuck in my brain and I was like, I wanted it, but I just had to make it myself. This is a good chance that I did see that on the shelves many years ago.
G'day,
awesome.
Big J. Yeah, he's got this little backpack where his spare bones are. I don't know why he's got so many bones in his backpack, but yeah, he's very cool.
Nice character.
Don't have anything that I can pop him on, so he sits here and watches. Here we go, just like I bought one. Oh, what did I miss? Streety saying the title of Aquafunk's new TV series. What did I just eat? Hot sauce does go on everything. But what kind of fool's going to put Aquafunk on TV? Hey, where you been, Aquafunk, anyway? Ah. Bummer, Bob. Is this a vintage person, Bob? Are they likely to pull through thoughts and all that stuff going out. Fingers crossed. Oh, didn't I scroll up far enough to get Aquafunks?
Fuck yeah, Jimmy. There's deer in Bundaberg. Have to stay at a place with a barbecue and go check out the local butchers next time I'm up that way.
Oh, we've all got those, Aquafunk. And oh, hang on, I've left you off screen just because I've got an elephant on my screen and a spawn figurine. Jimmy's saying about your deer up at Bundy. Are they just running wild, or like there's farms up there and stuff, or what? Pardon me. Because yeah, you know, like I'm not sure how it goes in Queensland, but I'm sure any feral animals are fair game, aren't they? Though you'd have to question it nowadays with the how everything's got so much freaking red tape. Now you probably need a license, or maybe they'll instigate the same system as the States, where you can only have so many tags and you can only kill so many, sort of thing.
If they want to maintain them, they've probably got an eradication strategy.
True that. Not like Hawaii. I don't remember which island it is. Is it Lanai? That apparently has 30,000 or more axis deer on it. And there's like only 2,000 or 3,000 people on that island of Hawaii.
Wow.
And all these deer that were a gift to the king of Hawaii from some Indian dude. I think that's how the story goes.
Yeah, right.
HC Aqua Jesse might be able to confirm, being a Hawaiian. Although he's been very quiet, he might have fallen asleep already. And do you own a rifle, Jimmy, or a bow? I know if they were around here, I'd be out looking for one. I'd clear a freezer out for half a deer.
Days of stalking and disappointment is what my friend says whenever I ask him about his recent hunting trips. It's only not even once a year that he gets to drop a decent buck, because he's got all morals about not dropping young or females, keep them maintained. And you got to get line up a good shot, and they can't smell you, and yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah, well, I think that's why so many people get into it, because you really earn your food that way.
Oh, fuck oath. Yeah. I tried to line up some deer meat with a local restaurant in Byron for my 21st birthday, and he called me up a week before and said, "Sorry, buddy. I asked him to organize it 6 months beforehand, and he said, nah, the hunter that I get my meat from couldn't manage to drop one in time, so I'm going to have to cancel on you." And I'm like, bugger.
Wow.
I was looking forward to that French venison stew. Well, venison cooked 3 different ways. You know, he was going to treat me to a good feed. I was happy to pay the price, but, you know, didn't go down. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess you could catch some GRB, and I could put them in the paddock, but because they're feral, they're you know, very difficult to contain. I think to keep goats effectively, you've got to sort of get them as kids and raise them up used to fences. Your feral goats, as much as I'd like to just go and catch some and chuck them in the paddock, I think they wouldn't stay still. They'd want to wander off and go and find all the good food.
Yeah.
G'day, Tom Patterson.
He takes
Clearly
a year. Sweet. That's some good hunting.
Yeah. What's your deer of choice, Tom Patterson? Whitetail, mule deer, elk. And moose and elk are different, aren't they? Moose is bigger than elk, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I saw a picture of one yesterday. It was massive.
Yeah, I think pigs are like that everywhere, aren't they? Aquafunk. I think wherever there's pigs, I don't think you need any licensing or tagging or anything to go and hunt them out, because they're just such a problem animal. The problem with pigs is they're just too smart. Highly intelligent animals.
Only whitetail. Yep.
Well, that's why you got to get 3 a year, isn't it? Because they're not the biggest deer, are they? But still very tasty, I am sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might do a thing. Get. See what happens with that. Yes, that's there's quite a few videos like that getting around Aquafunk where people go to look at the pretty animals like the moose or the bison, think that they're lovely little tame animals and they can just walk up and do selfies with them, and the animals get a little bit cranky about it. What does, I'm not 100% sure what John Cox refers to. All US states, wild pigs are fair game, but restrictions on cities and the like for shooting them. What do you mean, John Cox?
Discharging a firearm in an urban environment.
Yeah, right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
In a city or a big town. GRB, one of the markets that Sarah and I used to attend quite frequently has started again, but they are only doing the outdoor component of their market, which is unfortunate for us because we were part of the indoor component, which for some stupid reason it's just a big open shed. It's not exactly indoors as such. Pardon me. They're not doing the indoor stuff. So yeah, the sooner that starts, the better. Oh, I'm assuming, Bob, you're meaning that the pig attacked him and took off a whole bunch of his flesh before the boar died. Brutal. They certainly are full-on animals. Crikey. Nearly 500 COVID cases in Victoria now.
Yeah, it's nasty. They're all packed in so densely. It's not a shock, really.
No, it's not.
Greater
Hello,
Melbourne is just a giant suburb. It's just ridiculous.
Hello, Dana. Welcome aboard. How are you?
Cheers.
I'm assuming you're a first timer here, Dana. I've not seen your name before. If I have seen your name before, I apologise for my appalling memory.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah, I wonder, like John Cox saying, you can't fire weapons in some places even though it's rural.
Yeah.
Potentially there'd be, escape clauses with that, like self-defense against an animal maybe, or defending your property against an animal. Potentially you could discharge a firearm.
Like here, you can't just shoot openly, but if you've got to put down a bit of livestock, you can do it, no worries. There's a reason, but you can't target shoot. Like in my neighbour's backyard, we got out the old 22 one day and had some shots in a nice amphitheater of dirt, so the sound ricocheted off and up, so we got away with it. But yeah, it was definitely against the rules. Could have gotten a lot of trouble.
Interesting.
Yes, we've both got the bird action going on. My garden is going off with the bird calls. I can hear yours.
I've just got that one little trilly one going on. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I'm here for the poop fire. Now there's a YouTube name I enjoyed reading. Welcome aboard, Poop Fire. It's potentially one of my favorite words to use is poop. I just find it has a little bit more comedy than using the word shit. And hello, Mad Aquarist. Freaking hate those words. But yeah, g'day, Chris. How are you, mate? Welcome aboard. And I've got lots of old dry crusty cow poo out in the back paddock. I could probably load a bunch of it into my fire pit and have a poop fire.
Ooh. Asian Indian style.
You what?
Oh, some people in India will slap on the wet poo on a palm tree and let it dry, and when it falls off, they know it's good for the fire when it's nice and dry.
Ah.
Yeah. You don't want smouldering, half moist poo, with a dry crust and moist. You love that word, moist, in the middle. It's just going to smolder and stink.
Well, apparently burning cow poo in your campfire is good for mosquitoes, I've heard.
Probably true.
Yeah, I'm not entirely 100% confident of the science behind it, but I've heard it works. That's all. I mean, I haven't tried it myself. Mosquitoes don't really bother me. All caps from poop fire. Once the cow patty fire.
Yeah.
That would give him a reason to be here because he's only here for the poop fire. Well, we might work to that in the near future for you, Peep Fire, just to, you know, try and get that re-click. Try and get that revisit in the future. Jen, I tell ya. How are you, Jen? Welcome. Hello to you.
Come summer, we might do a mushroom cast, maybe, if that's illegal or not. I don't know. Fresh shroomage from the cow patties. Quite delicious. It's been a while.
Has been a while for me too.
Mm.
But yeah, Sarah's still got she's got a couple of mushroom spore casts in her freezer because we were going to start trying to grow some mushrooms, but we didn't get around to it. And got all the foam boxes and stuff ready.
Nice.
But never actually went through with it. Once we started reading about all of the sterilization and stuff that you've got to do it properly, it's like, who's out there sterilizing the cow pats in the paddocks to make the mushrooms grow?
No one. No. It's only if you're doing it indoors and you want to have it under your bed in an open environment. You know, I know a lot of people have done cubensis spore in a bag and, you know, keep it growing well without any bacteria. I guess it's really important to do your sterilization for that. But if it's open air, you can't control that shit.
Yeah. If you sterilize it, that's going to be non-sterile very rapidly. Paint Crazy Ola. How are you? Another new name. We've got a few new names in, unless Paint Crazy Ola is disguised in a different name. But nice to see all of these new names along. Always good. And, you know, potentially we will have to work to doing a poop fire. I'll start collecting dry cow pats just so we can do a poop fire. Just ultimately, just so I can call an episode the poop fire episode. I don't think that's such a bad thing. And yeah, Chris, that's absolutely right. If you're going to do a poop fire, you've got to do it right. And what shroomage from cow patties? Well, we got quite a few different mushrooms growing in cow patties around here, but I'm fairly certain that the mushrooms that Beast and I were referring to are of the magic variety.
Girl tops. Blue stems.
But yes, we will endeavour to remove any of them from the poops before we burn them. I don't want to waste stuff now, do we?
No.
That would be untoward. Untoward of us.
Yes, Ginger, absolutely. The psilocybin mushrooms. The good stuff.
Trust Zen Ginger to be all over it.
Yeah, she knows.
She probably had half a dozen last night for breakfast.
Oh.
What is going on with my interwebs? Oh, look out. Potentially, I did just notice about someone pineappled up. Jen, I tell you, subbed. Thanks, Jen. Appreciate that. But yeah, a couple of other ones must have as well, because I'm sure I was only at 550 something subscribers yesterday. Now 562. I tell you, I think it's been the longest set of 10 between 555 and 565. I've been sitting in this neighborhood now for about 4 months. I mean, sure, you need to actually put videos on YouTube to grow your channel, and I don't really do that, do I? So I can't really complain. But yeah, you know, appreciate the subs and the growth. It's all good. Cow patty bingo. Not sure about bingo, Streety. We used to do this one called cow pat jousting. Like, you know, the old medieval jousting where you and your opponent would, you know, go about 10 meters apart, armed with a nice, big, hefty handful of sloppy cow poo, and then the joust would begin, and you'd just basically run at each other and whoosh, at the joust point, try and smash your opponent in the face with a fresh-ish cow poo. Obviously, you don't want it too fresh because it's not going to hold in your hand very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you got the right cow poo, you get a good bulk amount of poo in your hand, and then yeah, try and splat them. Yes, Streetwise, I have seen a cow pat bingo now. It's basically where they draw a grid on the ground, and the cow poos on a number, and that number's the winner. And a good one at the agricultural shows or the state fairs, I think they're called in the States. It depends, Jen. It depends how fresh. Like on a winter's day, if you fall in a fresh cow pat, they can be quite warm and refreshing.
A steamer.
But yeah, if it's been out for a good 20 or 30 minutes, it's going to be at winter temperatures and stuff, so it's not going to be that warm. And then yeah, all you're left with is the fragrance, that wonderful methane-y fragrance of a cow poo.
Nice one, Streetwise. Outstanding in your field.
Very nice. Yes, who would have thought that a human could put refreshing and cow poo in the same paragraph? But this guy did it. Anyhow, I've got to go and wrestle a crocodile again. That's the problem with this cold weather.
Funky. You're not funky unless you get down with the mushroom funk. I mean, you gotta get down with the shroom. It's good stuff if done right.
Is that what are you referring to? Aquafunk?
Yeah,
not taking mushrooms.
He said he's not down with the poo shrooms, and I'm like, man, that's where they come from. That's the best spot.
It is the best spot. Anyhow, I'll be back in, 34 seconds or something.
No worries, brother. Agent Poppy Poop Poops. Well, the poop's been popular. Everyone's getting in on the poop action. Maybe we could just do a 24-hour live stream of cows with a webcam, and everyone can get their poop action, the live action. Never know. It could be a good channel. Not that I'm into rap much, but or hip hop, but have you ever seen 24/7 live lo-fi hip hop channel? It's been going for fucking months. And it's just 24 hours a day of just this lo-fi hip-hop that's really chilled. It's great to have on the background. It's a great channel.
Agent Poopy Poop Poops. Friend said there was going to be a poop fire.
Yeah.
Classic. Wait, is Agent Poopy Poops avatar Antoine Dodson? No, hang on. No, he's a bit pale for Antoine. So we've got two of the poop crew in. Where's the rest of the poop crew? Surely you boys must roll around town in a crew, in a brown El Camino, perhaps. Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys have been here to encourage this plan for a poop fire. And that's indeed what you get when you come to these live streams, Jen. You get stuff that you probably won't hear every day, nor on many other streams. Yeah, cabbage and hot sauce. That could give you an internal poop fire. You sure you can, but I think I said a brown El Camino. But we can change it to a brown minnow. Minnow was a boat, though, wasn't it? Wasn't there a US naval boat called a minnow? Or I might be fooling.
Pineapple sour candy, Dana. From I think it's from Malaysia, from Nasty Juice.
Last hurrah for the poop fire. Now, do you reckon if I'm gonna set a challenge. I'm here for the poop fire. Agent Poopy Poopy Poop Poop Poopity Poop. And who was the last one? I'm trying to scroll to find it. Last hurrah for the poop fire. I dare you all to comment at the same time. I'm not gonna set a date in stone. Last hurrah. I have to, that's how we get people coming back. That's where it was. GRB. The minnow was Gilligan's Island boat. That's right. Absolutely. That's close enough to the US Navy, isn't it? Came for the fish, stayed for the poop fire. That's right. We'll see. We'll see, Jen. Streetwise. I need clarification. No one remembers the 80s bag on front stoop.
Yeah, the paper bag on fire.
Oh, yeah, right.
Filled with shit. Stomp on it, put it out, and get shit everywhere. Ha ha ha. Very funny.
Wait. Didn't it have a name, that trick? Oh, I can't remember.
Knock and run.
Or
we just did it without the poop. knock on the door, run away and hide in the bushes, and then laugh as someone came to the door and didn't
come to the door and look confused. Yeah, victory.
Yeah. I don't know if in America you can get these. There's these Chinese things called throwdowns, and they're tiny little. They look like a tadpole of gunpowder and grit, like sand and shit. And you throw them, and as soon as they hit a hard surface, they go snap. Well, you can still get them in Australia occasionally. So I've got a box, and when a young child comes over to my house, I like to scare the shit out of them and grab one out and go, oi, and throw it at their feet and snap. And they go, what? Blows their minds. It's awesome. But you can make a launcher with a bit of PVC pipe and a glove, a finger of a glove, duct taped to the back of the pipe. And if you pull it straight, you can grab the throw down, pull it back like a slingshot, but it's in the rubber glove, and let it fly. And if it hits a hard surface, it'll go off. Great fun to do it on people's roofs or on elbows or knees on another human if you want to be really mean.
Well, we used to just call those things glove guns.
Glove guns, yeah. We call them pug guns down on the South Coast, but yeah, great fun. If you've got the special ammunition, you're a fucking bit of a threat.
Well, I haven't seen throwdowns since I was probably in single digits.
Right.
Where is this mysterious location that you can source them from once in a while?
The last time I got some was at a Toy World in Dubbo, and I bought up about 4 packs. Holy shit, the doves are going crazy.
Have you got the those white-headed black pigeons at your joint?
Yeah, they're all in a tree, and something must have gone for them because about 30 of them just all took flight. It's pretty majestic.
Yeah, I wonder if you've got my flock, because I've generally got this big flock of them hanging out in the trees out the back.
Right.
And I can just I can sneeze or cough and they'll all freak out and they fly all at once. But it's such an awesome sound and a sight to behold to see them all go at once.
Mm. 44 Mago fishing more flaming shit bag. That sounds about right.
That's the alternative name for the bag of dog poo on the doorstep.
Yeah. He calls them poppers. Yeah, poppers. But in Australia, poppers have a different meaning. That's the amyl nitrate that fiends will use to do certain things to their physiology.
And juice boxes. We call juice boxes poppers as well.
Yeah, juice boxes. That's right. Yeah, poppers. Because you fill them up with air and you stomp on them and they make a great big racket. It's good for scaring the timid.
How loved are ibex down under, as in the curly-horned goats?
I think I've seen them at Dubbo Zoo, like the Western Plains Zoo down there. But I've never seen them outside of the zoos.
Joel G's all over your poppers story. I'm assuming purely by experience, Joel G. I mean, come on, we've all been there.
Not really. I found a bottle in the bush down at Gerald when I was a young teenager, and I brought it up back to my nan's house, and my auntie's like, I asked them, I found this bottle of smelly stuff. What is it? And my auntie's like, oh, yeah, it's amyl nitrate. Like, oh, okay. A bit innocent.
Special parties, Joel G. But isn't its effect only temporary? Like
temporary.
Yeah, very brief. Like your nitrous oxide high is very brief.
Yeah.
So potentially, their amyls just for a bit of access, and then once it wears off, things get back to normal or less than normal.
and on a smoke break on the way up from Sydney back up home, found a bottle in a rest area under a different name, of course. And I was having a cigarette when I was still smoking, and I thought, fuck, what's this stuff? And we went, no, you got a cigarette in your hand, don't open it. So she saved me, because the shit is highly fucking flammable.
Very. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Candy. Aquafunk loves messing with the Jehovah Witnesses when they come to my door. Are you like me, Aquafunk? Is that when you get your favourite strap-on out?
Oh, it's a bit forward.
I'm fairly certain that I've had a conversation before with Aquafunk about his predilection towards the use of a strap-on. Good fun.
We've got three commenters about the poop fire still. I think we've got a raid on.
Well done. Well done to the poop crew.
Fire. Agent Poopy Poops and Blaster Off for the poop fire. They're all here for the poop fire. Not today, guys.
This is the planning episode for the poop fire.
Yeah.
Which I will say wouldn't have occurred without your presence. So it's good. Like I may have mentioned something about a catalyst before, but it's good to have catalysts. And you guys,
the grape seeds that went to birds and then ended up with poop, and poop ended up with a poop fire.
And the rest is history.
Shoot the poop.
But obviously the poop fire idea is obviously an idea that strikes deeply in the hearts of most of my viewers. So we'll definitely work towards getting a poop fire happening. I think all of our fire restrictions are lifted at the moment, so I can probably have an open poop fire.
I've even got a bag of magic chemicals we can chuck on it for colours. Make the poop fire go special.
Oh,
color.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Can't cook over it, but I don't want to eat shit. Literally.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'd cook on a poop fire either.
Yeah.
The potential for things to go wrong just seems too likely. Yeah, well, that's a good point, Jen. It might be based on where I would have to have an open fire at my place. I might be too distant from the Wi-Fi, so it might have to be a thing where Beast and I get together and amass a pile of cow poo and set it on fire. But they're all good ideas so far. I like them. I like the ideas a lot. And if a YouTube channel can't take inspiration from its viewers on all themes and topics and ideas, what kind of YouTube channel is that?
Mike, Mr. Dr. Black, I think we should do the poop fire as a special pre-recorded video rather than a live stream.
Well, that's kind of what Jen, I tell you, is offering up the idea of doing it as a premiere video.
Yeah.
Where we record the video And when you do a premiere on YouTube, you have a live chat as well. So
Okay.
that might be a very good idea. And it has been quite some time since I've put a video out. So why not get back into the fray of video creation with a poop fire video? A couple of blokes sitting around a fire pit of poo, telling stories about the last time they had a poo fire.
Back in the day,
when I was a lad,
yeah.
I had a poop fire this tall. Hello, Mickham. How are you?
I've got your neighbour's beer, Mickham. I've got Hollandia. It's probably like their Foster's, but it's actually quite yummy. I like it.
Which one's then, Ginger? Did not catch which name.
Mickham. See, Candy. Have a good night, morning, evening, wherever you are.
Take care, Candy. Talk soon. Thank you for your help. Pardon me. Zen's talking about Jen, I tell you his name. Did you think it was like Caribbean or something? Jen, I tell you. So many fruit flies.
Yeah, I just had one whizzing around me before.
I really got to move my worm farm from just over there because there's billions of fruit flies in it.
No Copperbergs for me today, Mickham. The local store has a run dry. I'm a bit disappointed. I tried the pears the other day and they were not so good. One in every 6-pack was a bit burnt plasticky taste. It was quite off-putting. And I let my wife have a sip of one and she said it was fine. I'm just being an idiot. I just don't like pear. But yeah, I wasn't convinced. I think there was some bad batches going around of the pear. And that's why it wasn't as popular.
Well, I like it, Jen. I think it's a good one. You should stick with it. Danny Can Aquatics in the house. How are you, mate? Good to see you. Thanks for popping by.
Poop is what it's up. I've got to stop this. I keep bringing it back to poop.
Oh, my internet seems to be misbehaving. Chris John, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. And apparently Aquarium Cop has shared my has shared this live stream out, but I haven't seen Aquarium Cop in here today. But thanks, Aquarium Cop, for sharing that out. If you listen or hear this later on. Yes, Kenny, I'm very good, thank you. Very, very good. And Jesse has woken back up. Welcome back, Jesse. Ah, he is indeed Sir Lurk-a-lot. Heard his name and piped in. Anyone else that's, lurking, feel free just to pop a little note in the chat. Let us know you're here. I mean, that does tell me that there's 29 people here and there's only about 17 or 19 people in the chat, so there must be a couple of lurkers. But yeah, thanks, Cop, for doing the sharing job. I have noticed lately that you're doing a good job of sharing people's work around. Hit the lurk button.
Nice.
That should be a thing. That should totally be a thing.
We've got quite a lot of Italians living in Byron and around the places that they're trying to do their best. A friend of mine got in a car crash heading down to Sydney and broke a couple of his vertebrae, and he's stuck here in Australia, can't afford a flight back. But to support himself, he opened up a cafe, like a pop-up cafe, and so he's getting wholesale food, so he's surviving, which is good. But yeah, it's pretty stressful. A lot of people want to go home, but there's just no money to get back.
Mm. Yeah, it's a bind for everyone, really, isn't it? G'day, Scotty. How are you, mate? Welcome. I think we lost Scungy. Scunge Princess was going to come up for a bit of a chat. She's gone vanisho. She did say she had a lot of stuff to do at home today.
Okay.
With the kids back at school and whatnot.
Yeah.
What else can we rave on about? I swear it was only like 6 minutes ago that I went and wrestled a crocodile.
The golden seal.
Yeah. If I keep putting it in, it's got to come out.
Yeah. I'm 4 deep. No urge yet.
Yeah, but you probably not long ago climbed out of bed and you did that first morning pee, which as soon as you get... Oh, no, haven't even done that yet.
No.
Crikey. I was going to say that.
Went back to bed.
That first one, you can normally get rid of it and then the seal's straight back up. G'day, Denny. Denny in the house. How are you, mate? Oh, my tanks are all right. Thanks, Mickham. Got my pair of Festes dancing around like mad today. They're going to start doing the deed again. I saved 3 babies out of their previous batch. As soon as I saw them starting to dance around again, I got the remaining 3 out of their tank and put them in one of my cherry shrimp tanks. And they're surviving well in there, so fingers crossed I have another batch, which I might take a bunch of babies out straight away this time and see how they go. Oh, g'day, Terry. Catfish Terry. How are you, mate? Welcome aboard. Oh, yeah, that's another thing I did too with my tanks. The Oscar tank behind me, I found... it could have been quite the mistake, but I found a table tennis ball and popped it in his tank for him to play with. And the first night that I put it in there, hours and hours of splashing and crashing of glass lids on top of the tank. He went nuts with that thing, played with it for hours. But yeah, based on the flow of the tank, the ball keeps ending up in this corner. Oh, yeah, that's right. I've got a floating bottle in there as well I need to get rid of. Found some vintage brine shrimp eggs. And yeah, none of them hatched, surprisingly, for eggs that are supposed to last forever. Lol, aquafunk. You know, that's how I like it. Increases the friction. Fish Whisperer Miles. Oh, coming in with the Catfish Terry raid. Is that what we got going on? Got a Catfish Terry raid happening. Anyway, speaking of aquafunk, speaking of my crocodile, I'm going to go and wrestle it again.
Let's hope that he finds that crocodile. What were you doing on your channel, Terry? Just videos of the tanks? Gaffer Haynes, hello. Gaffer. Does that mean you work with gaffer tape? Or is that different gaffer? Ty, how you doing? It's time for another beer. Nice one, Catfish Terry. Keeping the strings alive. Yeah, I'm not a dad, but yeah, I can bust out a dad joke occasionally.
That was pretty funny. He just did have a little play with his ball then.
The poor.
G'day, Gaffer Haynes, Ty Hunsicker. How are you, fellas? Good to see you here. Thank you for popping by. And cheers, Ty. Did you hit GRB's question about how long a bottle of vape juice lasts you?
I got two machines going at once, so a bottle of juice will last me. Like, this pineapple stuff is so fucking delicious. I do mix it up with some peach rings, which is a peach sour one, but these little 60ml bottles, 2 weeks max. If I mix it up with something else, yeah, I'm fucking loving the pineapple lately.
And Danny Can asking about your beer again, the Hollandia.
Hollandia, $40 a carton. Very, very decent price. $10 a 6-pack. And it tastes like Beck's back in the day when Beck's was imported. So I'm quite enjoying it. It's better than Goon.
How very dare you, sir? Is it a 330 ml bottle, or is it a 375 bottle?
Well, that's a good question. 330. Yeah, smaller bottle.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of those Euro beers are 330 bottles instead of the slightly larger size.
But how's this shit? It's 1.2 standard drinks in New Zealand and Australia, but the poor people in the UK, that's a 1.6 standard drinks. They're getting ripped off, man, with their health service, telling them they can't drink strong beers. So I call this a light beer. It's only 1.2. I like a 1.5 or higher. You know, that's my usual go-to. But for the price, can't fucking complain.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, you barely find any cartons of beer for less than $50 nowadays, do you? No matter what size bottle they are.
Exactly.
Lol, Catfish Terry says you need some Dr. Black Shoe to flavour your beer up.
Dr. Black Shoe?
Yeah, when you were here when when I did the Baileys and turkey out of my shoe.
Oh, damn.
That shoe was sticky for days. Actually, it's on my foot right now, but it's not as sticky as it was a few weeks ago.
Daniken, I'm with you. Yeah, IPA is usually my go-to. 4X Gold says GRB. Nah, mate. Nah, not 4X Gold. The fucking mangoes. Go to Dan Murphy's and get 4X summer mangoes. Fucking delicious. If you like mango. But they don't stock it here anymore. We only get the lime. I've got to go to Dan's to get the mango. But it's about the same thing. 40, 48 a carton of the mangoes. Fucking delicious.
I'm kind of the opinion that I might prefer a 4X Gold to a beer that tastes a bit like mango.
Don't knock it till you try it.
True.
If I get some, I'll drop one off to you. You see how it goes, man. It's quite a delicious experience. The lime is okay. I think they still sell the summer lime at the BWS, but yeah, lime, nah. Just use fresh lime. You don't want lime flavored beer.
Joel G just ate a mango for the terpenes.
Terpenes. That's the fucking good stuff.
I have a strange feeling that he might have just been making that statement to initiate a terpene conversation. Just in previous reference to when we've spoken about terpenes before.
Well, I better get my that reminds me, I'll get my other machine. It's got the terpenes in it.
Thanks for swinging by, Aquafunk. See you soon, mate. Take it easy. Rest well. Thanks for hanging out, Jessica Taylor. See you soon, Jess. Take care.
Have I shown this? Yeah, have I shown people this before?
I'm not sure.
I'm repeating myself. I'm being a drunkard, fucking repeating myself. This stuff is filled with weed terpenes from buds from Amsterdam. It's made in Amsterdam, sold to shops in Australia, and my God, it tastes great.
So it just gives you the flavor, but not the effects.
Yep, no THC or CBD, just the terpenes from good buds with a bit of vanilla and a bit of cake flavor, and yeah, tasty as fuck.
And Joel G did actually send me a photograph of a mango cut in front of him to prove that he was actually eating a mango and not just wafting a line around like that to get us to talk about terpenes. So I'm sorry, sorry to Joel G for calling his integrity into question.
Yeah, I love the green mangoes because of terpenes. I didn't really know it before I moved up here, but mango burn is a thing. You know, when you're picking mangoes, the sap will sometimes jet out and get on your
Sure
skin,
does.
and it'll burn the fuck out of you. But the sappy mangoes, the sappy green, non-ripe mangoes, fucking love the shit out of it, and it's all because of the terpenes. Then I got a chemist friend, and she informed me that the reason I like the terpenes so much is because they're common molecules that are found in many different things. So if you ever partake in the good old weed, some weed will have mango terpenes that are chemically identical to the terpenes found in buds. And that's shit I'm after, is the pine resinous pineol or whatever it's called. I love the pine terpenes, and the pine is in the green mango. So yeah, nature's wonderful. Yeah, the green ones, Joel G. Have you had mango buds before? Oh yeah, look at that. A snow speeder. Is it an original or is it Lego? It's Lego.
Lego.
Nice.
Yeah, I've kind of erroneously jumped back into Star Wars Lego.
That's a rabbit hole. Yeah, nice.
Sure is. Yeah, needless to say, the Vader TIE fighter that I keep up there is now swamped with extra figures and stuff, and I've got more on the way. Thank goodness Darth Vader's castle was out of stock. I would have bought that for $200 the other night, but Amazon was out of stock, and so was the Lego store.
We got black cockies.
Yellow tail, black cockatoos to be more precise.
Yeah. Having a party. Didn't get them on camera. Oh well.
No, that's such a nice bird. I think I did have a little bit of footage of those guys in my bird video that I put out about 6 or 12 months ago. Oh, I think I might have. Yeah, I think I saw that pop up the other day somewhere as well, Streety. The TIE Fighter barbecue pit thing. Because, yeah, once I, you know, in The Mandalorian, there's that awesome TIE Fighter, and in the newer Star Wars movies, there's a few different awesome TIE Fighters. Star Wars Rebels, there's some awesome TIE Fighters. So I figured I've got to get all the Lego TIE Fighters. That's what started me back on the Lego stuff again. But yes, there's some of those TIE Fighters are like $200 and more.
You should have told me you're into the Lego a few months ago. I gave away my last C3PO poly bag that I got for free, and I just gave them away to kids that popped in. And the last one went to a collector who did a show in Ballina. They did a big Lego show, and I said, "Who owns all the Star Wars Lego?" And they got me to the dude, and I said, "Do you have one of these?" And it's like C3PO with a red arm, and he's like, "No, I don't." And I'm like, "Well, here you go, man. Thanks for the show." And he's like, almost crying and shaking. The dude was like really excited. It's pretty endearing.
Well, it was only a brief time for C3PO to have that red arm. Actually, I don't think it was in any of the main movies, was it? It was in some side stories.
Yeah.
I think I was watching, was it Droid Tales on Disney the other night, and he had the red arm in that, but it was like a a storyline that was set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, I think.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, my like I've got the Darth Vader TIE Fighter, but do you think I can find the Darth Vader minifigure? No. And then you go looking for it, just the figure on its own on eBay and whatever, $50-$60 just for the Darth Vader minifigure.
Fuck eBay. Get onto Bricklink.
Onto what? Oh, Bricklink.
It's the eBay just for Lego. And it's
Yeah,
highly
right.
competitive. That's where I get all my parts for my game design. I shouldn't talk about that, but anyway, it's my secret.
Yeah, well, that was
Back-
one of my my main goals for getting the Darth Vader castle was so I'd get another Darth Vader minifigure, but $200 just to get a Darth Vader minifigure seemed a little bit more excessive than eBay. G'day, Chevy Fish. How are you? Oh yeah, no, that's TIE Fighters, Mickham, not TIE Fighters. How's your world, Chevy Fish? Good to see you. Oh, Dylan Martin. Did I say hi to you, Dylan? How are you, mate? Welcome aboard. Refresh that. But yes, I love my TIE Fighters. I love my Star Wars stuff. And if you're a Star Wars fan, watch all of the Clone Wars, all of Star Wars Rebels, because there's so much backstory and filling in the blanks that the movies just don't catch. And then, of course, there's all the novels and the comics. So much stuff going on in that universe. That would it's probably not a bad spot actually to look for Lego stuff in op shops GRB. Quite rare that I walk into one, but searching for Lego might be a good reason. Nice one, Chevy. Who'd you get? Get yourself some Blake's Aquatics and some Aquamate. Maybe a bit of Rumble. Suppose I should jump on that bandwagon one day. I've been doing this caper for a few years now. I probably should have stickers, but I don't. Nice, Chevy. Back in 99 with X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Oh. Was that a game? Like as in a video game? I'm sure he'll be back momentarily, Mickham, and you can tell him. But if you like, I'll pop that on the screen so we don't forget to divulge that information. Well, I always thought that as well, GRB, about my split face logo would make a good sticker like the one. Oh, that's right. I don't have shirts anymore. Aquamate and Thirsty Rabbit have my only two existing shirts. But yeah, the logo that's on my shirts would make a good sticker, I reckon. And now there's
Mick, I don't do fish with eggs. I've only got swordtails, the live bearers. So, and the importation of copperbergs, fucking expensive. They've got to be shipped over. So that's why they go a bit feral sometimes over here. They're not necessarily refrigerated the whole way through the supply chain. So yeah.
I would have to imagine that, wouldn't it be cheaper for Mickham to get the copperbergs over there? Aren't they made over there?
They are, but I'm sure the shipping would counterweight the price difference.
No, I mean Mickham being in Sweden or somewhere over there, that wouldn't he be able to get copperbergs from just over the border or something?
Oh, I'm sure they'd be cheaper, but the shipping, that's what gets expensive.
Gotcha.
They're doing, container loads of it to the Woolworths distribution facility and distributing them. So yeah, harder to find these days, but the local bottle shop, they're a bit shit. They like to stock something for a limited amount of time and then stop stocking it for shelf space for more profitable things. And they were selling off the copperbergs for as cheap as $16 for 6 packs. So yeah, it's dirt cheap for a while.
Maybe it was just one of those things where they got a massive bulk import and then couldn't match that price again, get rid of them all, try and start again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And with reference to that as well, what is a rhodonocentris? What type of fish is this? Or rhodonocentris?
Yeah, I think the export rules in Australia are quite lax compared to the importation rules.
You're talking about with regard to beer?
Oh, animals, the live animal trade, anything that's alive, basically coming into the country is highly scrutinized, whereas sending it, not so much.
Unless it's, an Australian reptile or bird, then you're sort of heavily policed.
Yeah. A friend from back is doing fly in, fly out mining, and I won't out him, tell you guys his exact name, but he was doing environmental reports for a mining company for doing fracking, which is pretty fucked. But he found a beautiful snake out in the bush and was picked it up. Beautiful character, just such a nice snake, and he smuggled it back from the mine up in Western Queensland back to New South Wales on the plane, and he's got it in a tank and it's having a great life, saved from the mines.
But you don't know what sort of snake it is?
I have known, but I forget the name now.
I did Google up the ornate rainbow fish to see.
Rainbows.
Yeah, ornate rainbows. I don't think they're as far south as us. I think they're you're probably up in Metal Hammer Jimmy's territory, up around Bundaberg. I think they're one of the warmer ones. I think I'm fairly certain that we only get 1 or 2 rainbows down here, and one of the blue eyes as well.
Blue eyes, yeah. I've fished for them locally up in the Weir. My dad is a herpetologist. He's brought back a few rare gudgeons from out in the field in South Australia where there's a bit of water. Highly illegal, but my dad likes to flaunt the rules. He's a bit of a bad boy when it comes to bringing home animals.
It followed me home.
Yeah. But he had one gudgeon going for about 7 years. It was quite happy in the tank. Fed it live food and everything. It was just a happy fish.
I had an Empire gudgeon like that in a 2.5 foot tank. Shared it with, it was a community tank, and that thing, like I got it as a baby caught out of my creek here, and it lasted a good 7 or 8 years as well. Grew up to an adult male, nice and colourful. I suppose that ultimately it comes down to how well you keep them. That if you feed them right and keep their water nice, they'll grow.
Yep.
But based on, you know, my creek near me, it was terrible for about 20 years. So if they can survive in that, then they can probably survive in a, you know, a bucket of tap water, no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, those desert gobies are nice, GRB. I believe their scarcity is pushing their price up on the market, though, if you can find them. But yeah, there's so many of the Australian gudgeons are underrated as aquarium fish, I think. Yeah, GRB, I reckon they go forever, those things. They're great.
Ooh. Have you heard of the flow tank crew? Blacky?
What?
The flow tank crew. They make swimming pools that are natural water holes instead of a chemical like a chlorine pool with like biofilters and
is that the local mob?
Yeah, they're local, just the southern Queensland and New South Wales. But they've got a good setup as far as tanks breeding rainbows and blue eyes and everything else that have survived in their pools. It's what I wanted before we got our saltwater pool. But it was very expensive 10 years ago, so no one was doing it. So we had to bar that idea off.
Well, I had an offer of a job with a guy. He works in the local credit union, and his side hustle is the natural swimming pools. And he wanted me to do the phone marketing, you know, just cold calling people about getting these natural pools, which is basically what you're saying, just a pool with you know, wetlands filtration and stuff like that. So it's all completely natural, no chemicals and whatnot.
It'd be beautiful to go snorkeling in your own pool. Gorgeous. Going for feeding time, get them used to you and have a little bag and get out the feed and get them coming into your hands. Beautiful. The future.
Well, yeah, I think it's certainly a time when people will be looking into pools like that are a little bit more natural and less chemical. So it mightn't be such a bad time to go and work for this mob.
For sure.
I just don't like the idea of cold calling people.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of
it just seems a little bit forced.
Yeah. Better off getting busy on the socials and advertise that way and get some interest.
Yeah.
And showing the shit off. Like a really well-stocked one and getting an underwater camera out and showing off how it looks when you've got them set up from inside the water, and that's got to sell it, you know. That's your selling point.
Yeah.
Getting to swim in your aquarium. And for the more adventurous, like, you don't need to limit it to natives. You could have swordtails, a massive school of swordtails or a massive school of guppies just swimming around happy as whatever, and it'd be just pretty as.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that guy GRB. I don't remember his name, but I think his beachfront house is southeast Queensland, or maybe halfway up the Queensland coast, where his big one is. Oh, hang on, was he? He might have even been further south. Might have been New South Wales coast. But anyway, yeah, I did see those pond guy videos when he was in Australia.
GRB, my friend Kai loves to fish for bass, but he always catch and releases them. He never takes them. But yeah, you can, if you've got creek access, you can fish for bass. I don't know what species of bass it is, but yeah, definitely challenge the catch. But
Well,
worth it.
If he's fishing around here for them, then they're Australian bass.
Yeah. Okay.
My oldest son had 5 Australian bass that he'd caught on a hook and line in the local creeks here. But because they were already like 4 or 5 inches long, it was basically impossible to get them to feed, because they're so used to just hitting bugs and stuff on the surface of the water that if you weren't giving them live fish or live grasshoppers, then they weren't eating. So I think eventually, yeah, well, they need it. They need that trigger of the surface water being disturbed.
Understandable.
And, hey?
It's understandable.
Yeah. Well, they're very predatory fish, and they're very secretive and hidey until they've got to hit the surface. So you've really got to trigger those hunting mechanisms to get them feed, and you just can't do that with pellets or flakes or anything like that. So I think he eventually just released most of them back to where he got them. Yeah, I thought about that Chevy fish iron-ons. Yeah, I mean, you certainly don't get the same quality with an iron-on transfer as you do getting a shirt printed for you, but it certainly would be a good money saver. Yeah, purple spotted gudgeons are good, but they can be brutal. They can be brutal on their tank mates. Files even.
Yeah, that's a good idea. A lot of 3D printing companies nowadays are offering subscription services, but one-off fee to get a file sent to you. You're not going to take advantage. You're going to get a couple of shirts printed, no worries. That's a great idea, because I'm sure we all have businesses near us that can take a file and print it on a shirt for us.
That's a very good idea, because I have many, many, many digital files of stuff that I'd want to eventually get on shirts, or that I have on my Redbubble store shirts and stuff like that. But yeah, it would be so much cheaper and easier just to send a digital file to someone and get them to do the work.
Yeah.
Everybody wins. Fridge magnets. I think you can get them on Redbubble now. I'm not sure. I might have to look into that. But yeah, even fridge magnets, you can get them printed so cheap at printers nowadays. Obviously, if you get a decent enough quantity.
We bought a packet of 20 of them that were photo sized from Aldi years ago. And they've barely faded in like 15 years. But they
with your business logo on, or just fridge magnets in general?
Oh, we made one of our wedding photos of me and the wife, and a couple of art ones, and Stuck them on the fridge. They're still going. They still got color. Not the best color, but you know, still visible. And I got a friend who's living in Western Australia. He still has one of my light photography art fridge magnets on his fridge. It's gone from share house to him and his now wife that I set him up with, and yeah, he's a happy camper out in Karratha up in Western Australia.
I think everyone knows at least one person who's been through Karratha for work at some point in their life.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I might quickly duck out the back, and then we might have to wrap this up if no one's got any other topics we should discuss.
The interior window sticker, yeah, like a stained glass style stuff. That stuff's cool. I got a frog on my bathroom window. It's lasted a very long time. It's very good. Fish pictures, you know, that's another thing. Pictures of your fish, your favorite fish, and putting them on your shirt. Do like a Hawaiian shirt style with all guppies all over it. That could be cool.
Have we still got any of the poop crew here?
That's what took me so long before. I had to go that way. the poop crew. Fish Whisperer Miles. I don't have putties. I got swordtails, and they're all fucking. They've all gone Heidi since they're. Is that a cow poo? Yeah. Look at that mound. Save them up, mate. Put them in a pile where they stay dry.
Yeah.
Get them nice and dry, and then we can have a poo burn. Oh, we're doing a test run. Here we go.
Such a shame the poop crew have all disappeared.
Oh, the poop raiders. We will never forget. Salute you. It's smoking.
Yeah, I might need a hotter flame to get it tinned up.
I wonder if you fed the cows copious amounts of cannabis, would the THC survive, and could you smoke poop? Pretty disgusting. Well,
there's one for the scientists in the room.
Oh, it looks like a good cigar. Fucking have a toke.
Oh, it actually smells all right, eh?
Right. Oh, copping it.
I thought it would smell much worse, but it smells okay.
Welcome to the shit show.
There's plenty more where that came from, Mickham. Not starving any plants of any food. Yeah, yeah. Solid thinking, GRB. Why not just smoke it instead of feeding it to the cows? Cut out, man.
Yeah. Maybe it will cure it. Maybe it would add some extra element. Have you not heard of civet shit coffee?
Yeah.
Kopi Lau, I think it's called, in Indonesia. They find the civet poos where they've been eating the beans, and apparently it's the smoothest coffee on earth because, of course, it's gone through a civet's digestive tract, which is like a tree cat. Very expensive.
Have they actually knuckled down the science with that as to why being passed through a cat-like creature's digestive system makes it so fantastic?
Yeah, it adds little cracks and rivets from the acid in the guts into the coffee beans, and more moisture and more extraction can happen, and it changes the chemical balance, the pH balance, and makes it delicious coffee. Not that I've tried it, but next time I go to Indonesia, I'll definitely give it a go.
Yeah, well, it's got to be cheaper over there than wherever it is anywhere else in the world because it's crazy expensive. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
and still, I mean, it was like supposedly your most expensive coffee you could ever get when it first became prevalent. But I'm sure now that social media has spread all that information around, the those civets and Indonesians are probably being exploited for their expensive coffee.
Yeah, kind of. It like getting through the bush and finding a civet shit that like in the coffee fields and finding the poos it adds a whole level of employment, like man hours to the whole operation, cleaning it up, washing it, making it ready for market.
Does it potentially also open up the avenue for people to be catching civets in the wild and bringing them to their coffee plantations and, keeping them fenced in a coffee plantation or something just so they have a higher concentration of poo coffee?
No, I think I'd draw back to that bass factor. The wild bass, they need wild food. They need to be in their wild environment to actually thrive. You can't just take a civet and then just feed it just nothing but coffee berries. I don't know if you've ever munched on a coffee cherry before, but it's not that nutritious. It's all seed, 2 or 3 seeds inside the beans, inside the fruit. It's very thin. There's not much nutrition. The civet would need protein of some sort to thrive, and be hunting and shit. It's unfarmable. But I'm happy to be proven wrong. That's another factor. I'm sure you could cage them up and give them a few rats a week, just release them in the cage, and they'd hunt them down in an enclosed environment, and you end up with some, guaranteed civet shit. Streetwise says, I have integrated a cat into my aquarium ecosystem. He drinks out of my utility tanks. Mate, if friends bring over dogs, they fucking love the shit out of drinking out of my fish bowl. Freaks the fish the fuck out, but the fishy taste in the water must just go, delicious.
Yeah, my dog seems to prefer to drink out of my mulm buckets than his water dish. Must be just super flavoursome, a little bit of extra nutrition.
Yeah.
It's like, why do I bother putting a water dish out for you if you're just going to drink out of my dirty fish water buckets anyway?
Oh, they'll love it. But I had the last time the dogs came over, friends got a cross alpine dingo with a plains dingo, and she lapped it up, and within 2 days, massive algae bloom. So
from what?
The chemistry got changed just by the dogs lapping up water, and it just went feral. So I had to do massive water change to get the green out of the water. And I don't think the fish were as happy because, honestly, I think they like green water over clear water.
Yeah, certainly lots of live bearers love the green water. Righto, well, we might call it quits. Anyone got any other questions for us before we disappear this day? It's still too chilly, GRB, I think, in my opinion, for any local collecting. Anytime I've tried to put a trap in the creek in the winter, I get nothing out of it. But certainly when the weather warms up, I definitely want to go and try and get myself a bathtub full of Pacific blue eyes. I'll try and have another crack at those guys to breed. And plus the many different gudgeon species that I have around here will go perfectly well in my bathtub out the back, or the 4-foot tank I've got set up out there as well. So yeah, time will tell, and definitely on the plans, GRB. Just not while it's so chilly. I suppose it would be interesting just to pop a trap down for a couple of hours, see what is actually active down there in the winter. Cold for me, Mickham, is probably nowhere near as what's cold for you. Considering that I've never even seen snow in my life. My 45 years on the planet, never experienced snow. My cold is single-digit Celsius. I call cold. But again, in saying that, I still do sleep with my door open and my windows open in the middle of winter.
Oh man, when it gets sub-zero, you kind of acclimatize to it and get used to it, especially with a bit of liquor in your system. And yeah, it's a wonderful feeling. It really is. Woke up to frost all over the car one day down at Jindabyne. Snow falling on the fields. Lovely. Such a great experience.
I do love the cold. What are you going off at, mate? Oscar's attacking something on the surface of his water. I thought it might have been the ping pong ball, but it's still sitting there. Something's certainly taken his fancy, because I can still see from here that he's looking up there.
He's stalking.
I know I get the geckos, you know, the little Asian house geckos. I get plenty of them in and around the fish tank lights. And yeah, all through the night I'll hear banging on his glass lids, because I think he's trying to get at the geckos. So I do leave one of his lids a little bit open to hope that a gecko or two falls in.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you leave the lid off? Yeah, it's a good idea.
And I might have to do that in my Feste tank as well, because the other day when I was feeding some small pellets, and a few of the pellets didn't go down the hole into the water, and they fell into this gap between two bits of glass. And I thought, I'll just leave them there. I'll clean them up later. And then the next morning, those pellets were gone.
Yep.
And so, you know, powers of deduction and all that, I assumed that it was, you know, geckos with their fleshy tongues had found the pellets and decided to eat them, which potentially means I've got geckos living above the Feste tank as well.
Have you ever heard of a light trap?
A light trap?
Mm.
For what kind of creatures?
Insects. Hey, is that a light trap?
Yep.
And it drops the insects down the bottom?
Yeah, a little spot in the bottom there. Just plugs in with the USB. Hang on, I've got a USB right here. Who'd have thunk it?
That's something that my dad would do was for tanks of reptiles, because they'd only go for wild food that was alive. You just, that's a UV one. Yeah, nice. So that's mainly for mosquitoes.
That's what it says. I am.
So does it kill them or does it leave them alive?
Well, it's funny you say that because there's a mosquito flying around in the base of it at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ordered it like in the middle of last summer because I do kind of encourage mosquitoes to breed around here, so I can use them as food and whatnot. But yeah, I ordered that in the middle of summer, thinking it would only take a few weeks to get here, and it didn't get here till about a month ago. So
yeah,
very, very few mozzies flying around when the weather cools down.
Yep.
But yeah, my main goal with getting it was so that because it's a non-toxic way to kill mosquitoes. But obviously, I know it hasn't been plugged in, so that's probably why there's a mosquito flying around in it. But yeah, basically, so I could catch mosquitoes, adult mosquitoes, and then just tip the container into the water. It's all good food, whether they're babies or adults.
That's high tech, but my dad would get a lamp and then use a Coke bottle and cut it and invert the funnel. And so the moths and small insects would fly around the light and get tired and then fall down into the bottom. Then you just separate the top from the bottom and tip them into the water or water for fish. But he was feeding reptiles, so he just drop them in with the reptiles, close the lid off, and the reptiles would have something to hunt. So they were happy. He had a really big gecko called the Panati knobtail that he was studying, and this thing was like the Asian house geckos. They're quite small even when they're full grown. This Panati knobtail was, let me get my fingers right. It was like this long. It was like a fucking wild tiger or a jaguar of geckos, and this thing just was brilliant at hunting. And Dad pulled it out of the tank and put it on my hand, and as soon as it felt the warmth, it just went from sitting up to just, I'm lying flat on your hand. Yeah, I'm taking all that warmth. I love it. It was really a delicate creature, but so reactive to just being a good pet.
And is that a version of one of the Australian knobtail geckos?
Yeah, it from what Dad's told me, he studied it for quite a while. And the best footage he's got of it is on the horizon when the sun goes down. Every sand dune that had one, the male would be at the top of the sand dune doing this waggle dance with his tail, and the females would live in the gullies and see up on the horizon the silhouette of the male wagging his tail and go, "Oh yeah, I like that boy. I want to go breed with him." That was their calling card.
It sounds very similar to human courting. Just wave it around in the air, and if they like the look of it, they'll come and grab it.
Check out my dong.
All right, so we've gone from potato salad to poo to dong talk. We've covered the entire gamut here today, ladies and gentlemen. As much as we could have missed a million topics, I don't think we missed any topics here today. I think we covered everything that anyone could possibly want to know.
Wait, Mickham's saying, and during the Christmas almost 5% of the Swedish population visit Thailand. How's that going to go this year? Do you reckon they're doing it now? Are they going to Thailand? I know Vietnam has excellent public health and safety going on. They've got the lowest rates of all the Asian countries, but I don't know much about Thailand. I know India's doing shit.
They might have to ship some of the Thais to Sweden, that the Swedish people go there to visit.
Yeah. Chevy's saying there's a thing called scarifying, which is scraping the outer shells of seeds in order to get them to germinate. Maybe coffee beans need stomach acids to do the same for smooth taste. Yeah, it's like I've seen microscopy.
Microscopy.
Yeah, you got it. But there's like the acids dig little channels in the coffee beans, and when you grind it all up, the particles have still these little channels in them, and yeah, it aids in extraction and getting rid of the bitter taste.
Be that whole surface area thing, yeah.
Yeah, surface
Channels
area, and
also
too, you'd probably need to run the roast a different way than traditional beans. And I think when I harvested my beans, I picked them off the bush. I got the cherries, like the fruit off the plant, and I thought, oh yeah, I can just roast these guys. Put them in the oven, roasted them, and next minute they've got a shell. And then I did my research. I had to shell the green beans. It was a bastard. I did it by hand. I didn't have a machine. I got shit stuck in my fingernails. It was so painful. But I ended up with about 150 grams of green beans. I put them away in the hopes of getting them roasted, and I didn't do anything with them. But yeah, I've still got a coffee bush.
Yeah, there's one just over the other side of the house here.
Have you tried the fruit?
I haven't. As in fresh off the vine, just chew on it.
Yeah.
I may have done that many years ago, but from what I've seen, it just, like, the lady who owns that bush, I don't think she even harvests the coffee off it. I think it's just there to be a shrub.
It's pretty prolific. Like, it'll drop its seeds, the next minute you got a whole grove of.
Yeah, right.
It's not hard to grow here, but the cherry, like the red berry on the outside of the beans is bit tangy, but still enjoyable, and it's got a high caffeine content. So yeah, I'm amazed no one's worked out a way to just do caffeinated juice.
Yeah, right. Straight from the flesh of the berry.
Yeah, the South Americans and stuff, they will just use that berry outer and then seed it with maybe yeast or some shit, or it's just wild yeast that gets in it, and they let it ferment, and the fermentation will eat off that outer layer to get to the green bean, and then you roast it. But the beans inside, like the green beans, when you roast them properly, they're like popcorn. They increase by about 50% in size.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then they're good to grind up and make a good cup of joe.
Interesting. I might have to investigate that bush, depending on when they fruit, of course.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we might as well call it quits and finish up for the day. Let everyone get about their business, which probably for most of you is sleep. Possibly Mickham and the Euro crew, I think, are in their morning, so they can get about their day. And what else? Nothing really. Enjoy the rest of your 24-hour period, people. Thanks for hanging out. Those who have been here from the start, full credit to you. You're a prime example of what every human could aspire to be. Diligent, long-lasting, stamina-filled individual. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks Beast for being here and chatting. I have had apologies sent through from Scunch Princess. She had to disappear and drive to town, so she could not be here with us, even though she was waiting backstage at first, but she had to go. So apologies from Sarah, and just more thanks and more goodbyes and stuff for everyone else. So thanks, people. Behave yourselves. Beast, you're pointing.
The poo will happen. The poo fire
It will. We just need a more insistent presence from the poop crew. Is that what we're calling them? The poop crew?
Yeah,
the
poop raiders. See you guys. Lovely to talk with you.
So yeah, we might have to. We'll have to get together and make that a video and do it as a premiere or something like that. Yeah. Sounds like a lot of fun. All right. Thanks heaps again, everyone. Take care. Look after yourselves. Wear your masks. Wash your hands. And don't forget to wipe your bottom when you do a poo. See you soon.
See ya.